Hey guys, this is Jay from The Crazy Life of Jay. I definitely have not said that sentence in a while. I have been neglecting my videos for over a year now, which was kindly brought to my attention by some of the wonderful folks in the Planner Piece group. So I figured I would come back in and give you guys a setup video. I know setup videos are kind of overdone these days, but the system has changed a bit. So I figured I would start there. But I would like to do some more filming, so if there are any ideas, suggestions, things you'd like to see either in my planning system or pens or any of those things, leave a comment below or find me on the blog, and I would be happy to do something a little bit more focused on certain aspects of my planning system. But for now, since I just checked and my last planning video was in June of last year, I figured I would go through and show you guys a couple things that have changed since then. Ignore the crazy filming setup complete with a cushion. I was getting all set to go and realized that since the move, I have no idea where my tripod is for my phone to film. So I wish I could get a picture of the ridiculous setup I have going on now between a countertop and a chair and a pillow and whatnot, but we're gonna make this work because I didn't want to put it off another day because I knew I'd probably never get to it. Surprise, surprise, as always, it's the Malden. Hasn't changed. It's definitely getting lots of love. I don't know if you can see there. I think that in a fancy word is called a patina, but I call it's just getting old. The corners are getting quite, beat up, and the spine is definitely, you can see where the rings are put in. So the spine is definitely getting a little beat up, but it's still my workhorse. It's still my go-to. Everything else changes, and somehow this still stays exactly the same. So the binder itself is the same, but a lot inside has changed. If you look at the video I did last June, I did not have nearly this many tabs up top. So I've definitely changed quite a few things up here, which we'll go through in just a second. And then the side view is kind of the same, except I did add a pen from last year, so we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So coming inside, as I mentioned, still my wallet, still my go-to kind of combination of my wallet and my planner. So inside, the driver's license, we've moved states, so that's a new one. Two most frequently used credit cards, and then this one's actually a parking card for our parking meters downtown. You can either feed them with change the old school way, or you can use these smart cards, which transfer any unused money back into your account, which is really nice. Still keep my dollars back here, and this time I have more than just the single dollar, so that's always exciting. And then I just have a random Fuel Savers card tucked there. One thing that has changed is this zip pouch was a pain in the butt to do change at the grocery store. It was just so fiddly at the grocery store. It became a pain, and thankfully my new handbag, which hopefully I'll do a video on as well, has a perfect little pouch right in the front. I just throw the change in and can go. So this is actually, I had a bit in the rings here, a little zip envelope that had Band-Aids and hole reinforcers and things like that. So I just transferred some Band-Aids, hole reinforcers. My tiny scissors are still here. I keep stamps in here because they're the perfect kind of width to keep in there. So just a couple little odds and ends kind of office things, and then change goes in the handbag. And then back here I have, let's see, I have market dots. I haven't used these as much lately, but I do use the green ones. That's my color in my system. So I use the green ones, you'll see in a minute, on my monthly planner to denote days that I have appointments outside the office. And then I just keep a little blank, plain blank note card with an envelope. Since I've got the stamps in the system, in the planner as well, it's been really nice. I've found myself on a couple occasions just needing to write a little note to someone or a little thank you to someone, and it's nice to have that in there. And since I have the stamps up here, I can just take it and go. Flyleaf stays the same. I just changed it finally from our wedding picture and just did a quote that I really liked. And then I put one of these, I think they're called Clicks clips. So I just put one of those on there, and that has been great. Let's see, I don't have a receipt, but what I normally do is if I'm at the grocery store, if I'm somewhere that I want to throw something in the planner but not sure where, I just unclip it, slide whatever it is below, clip it back down, and it's a pretty sturdy little clip, so then I can just kind of close the planner and go. And then it's right in front of my face, so I know I have to deal with it and process it once I get home. So, but when I don't have anything, it just doesn't take up too much space, kind of stays out of the way. Still little mementos in the back of that pocket. And then this little, I think, day runner maybe, two-sided envelope, still has the clip on it that holds my pen, still using the Uni Style Fit, so that might be a new record for me because I was using this, I just started using this last year. And then I do still keep coupons. I flipped them from the back side and I keep them here, just coupons, gift cards, anything like that that's kind of discount related. And then any receipts that I want to hold on to, usually if I'm buying something that I'm not sure I'm going to keep or fit well or something like that, I hold on to the receipt just for a little while. This is still in here, just one single double-sided card holder. There are a couple cards missing in here. I do have my backup credit card that doesn't fit in the front, and then kind of some of my most frequently used rewards card. I have a purchasing card for work, express credit card, hair salon, things like that. The me section has pretty much stayed exactly the same from last time. I'm not going to go into the section itself. Basically, it has insurance cards, it has my Filofax registration page, but the main thing it has in there is any different types of doctor's appointment, eye doctor, dentist, anything like that. I always just make a note that I went in on this date, everything was normal, got a new prescription, etc., etc. I go into that a little bit more detail in the last video, but it's pretty self-explanatory. But since it's medical stuff and my insurance cards, we're just going to leave that one. And then my capture section, I did put a nice giant tab on my capture section, so it makes it really convenient. You know, it's kind of the first big tab that I can just grab, and if I grab that tab, it flips open to the first page with sticky notes galore. Somebody in one of the groups the other day had asked, you know, people who use sticky notes, what do you really use them for? I'm trying to figure it out. I use them for everything. So you'll see kind of in my daily pages, but I do keep kind of an assortment right at the beginning of my capture section because a lot of times I don't need a full page and it's just kind of write a little note down, stick it onto the daily pages. So I start there. And then behind that, I do have some different note, you know, just blank note paper. This was actually paper that was in a bigger planner that I chopped down to size and punched just because I thought it was something fun and a little different. So I keep, I don't know, what, maybe 10 sheets of note paper back here just to have. And then that's about it. I don't keep it too complicated because usually everything that's put in here is going to be transferred later on. And then we get to the diary section. All of my tabs, as you can see, I've had this planner for so long that all of my tabs are getting a little beat up, so it's going to be time soon, I think, to kind of go through and replace a lot of those, unfortunately. So we'll see how long they last. I've already taped up a couple of them. In the diary section, the first thing is those year planners. I do still have those for 2014 and 2015. I should probably make 2016 soon. Still a similar situation. I really don't use them all that often, but again, they are great really to track who's where when, to really kind of get an overall glimpse of how much we've traveled that year. So you can see we've done a fair amount of traveling this year, and then I do keep 2014. It's kind of for the same reason, just to kind of have a comparison. As you can see, we traveled a lot a couple of the weeks in 2014. So this is more of kind of I don't necessarily use this for forward planning. It's more for after we go on a trip somewhere or whatnot. I'll kind of jot it down just to keep a record of it. This sheet I've always had in here because I feel like I should, and it wasn't really until I started my new job that I use this so much now. So much so that I actually put a little annual calendar 2014 through 2016 tab on it. It has been really helpful. I have to refer back to dates. I work with clients and contracts, and I have to look at forward dates and backwards dates quite often. So it's been really nice to be able to see 2015 at a glance, but a lot of my contracts are still in, you know, it's a 2014-2015 contract, and right now I'm transferring them all to 2015-2016 contracts. So it's been really convenient to have this sheet in here. It's kind of funny. It's one of those things I just never used, and now it's become a really essential part of my system, so much so that I decided to tab it so I could access it easier, because this sits open next to me at my desk all day at work, so I use it quite often. These guys are a little different. These were tabs. Oh goodness, I should have looked up where I found these before I started this. I think I did a Google search, and it might have been a Pinterest. It was a free printable I found online. If anyone is really interested, let me know in the comments. I can try to find either the file or the link of where I accessed them. But it was just a link to print these out on paper. It was kind of a pain just to sit and print, and I laminated them and cut them and put them on glue paper and whatnot. But these are the monthly pages that I designed to use for this year. I designed them off of a particular another brand that has tab months, but I decided to get creative and design my own. And as you can see, I was able to pre-print birthdays. There are no holidays in the month of August, but I also pre-printed, different holidays and anniversaries and all kinds of fun stuff on there. So I did that for all of 2015. In all honesty, I'm not going to be using these in 2016. I really liked the idea, and it does work well. If we're going out of town, I can put that we're going out of town, and then I've just kind of hashed down the side the days that we're going to be gone. Just something for how I work visually. I like having the boxes and going across. Maybe it's just because that's how I've always planned, but for once in my life, the vertical is not working for me as well. So I don't know if I'll design something. Honestly, life has gotten pretty crazy with work and everything, so I may just end up buying something pre-purchased and stick it in and be done, because this, between the designing and the printing and the cutting and the punching and the tabs, it took some time. So I may or may not be doing that again next year, but it has been nice to have, I don't know, let's see if I have a month, I marked, so I know, when I look back, that the little green dots do mean client meetings out of the office. So it's kind of nice to get an overview of my month and how much time I spent in the office versus out of the office, things like that. So I have those in there through December, and then any planning beyond that. I haven't actually had anything yet, but now that I think about it, I'll probably just put a note sheet in here so that I can put any dates of forward planning, and I'm hoping to get monthly pages pretty soon so that I could at least put in, the first quarter of 2016 for any forward planning that we need to do. Behind there, I have my birthdays and anniversaries. I've kept these forever. I tend to forget them, so I have these sheets in here. As you saw, I had some of the close friends and family marked on the monthly pages, and then I actually stamped them on the daily pages as well, so I don't forget to at least call or text on someone's birthday. And then I just keep it clipped so I can see it a quick spread, the current 4 months of birthdays, to focus on and make sure that we're letting our family know that we love them and are thinking about them. So I keep that in there, and then it goes right after that into my daily pages. I did, since last year, stop using that weekly insert that I designed myself. Ran out of room. We just got too busy. There was too much going on. I needed more space. And again, I still have that same mentality of, if something doesn't work, fix it. So those weren't working as much as I loved using them. Who knows? Maybe I'll go back. But at this point, it was actually the Filofax day per page that ended up being the easiest to use and the simplest to use. So I think I have 6 months in here right now. I have June through November. So probably toward the end of this month, I'll take out June and put in December, so I have the last 6 months of the year. But you can kind of see at a quick glance, it's gotten busy. I'm definitely using a lot of them. I threw some tickets in here. I'm not huge on decorating, but things like that I know I'm going to want to keep. I saw one of my favorite bands that night, Old Crow Medicine Show. If you haven't heard them, go listen. And I wanted to keep that just as something kind of sentimental. And then you can see it's gotten a little bit busier these last couple days. So the daily spread still kind of looks the same. This poor ruler, I don't know if you can see in the video, I've washi taped it together. So it is pretty much completely cracked. So one of these days I know I'm going to flip to this section and the whole thing is going to rip off. But for the time being, I'm just going to washi tape it. And then once I need to order more storage binders from Franklin Covey, I'll get another one. Whoever it was, and I'm sorry I can't remember, but whoever it was that was asking about sticky notes, I use them for all kinds of things. This was the day I was supposed to receive my new handbag, which I did, so that's exciting. I put that in there on the sticky note. I could have written it on the page, but I just decided to let it stand out a little bit more. Usually I use them for anything that I do want to stand out a little bit more, or things that I know I'm going to be moving to from week to week, and we'll see that in kind of a minute here. But the daily kind of staples of my pages, I am using those Studio L2E hydrate stamps. I have been drinking so much more water since I've been held accountable for it, because I hate seeing, I think I have a couple days here where I have a cup that's missing and it drives me crazy. So I've been really kind of focused on drinking more water since I'm being held accountable to it. I always still track the weather. And then it's kind of fallen in a system where schedules kind of go on this side, and then any tasks I need to do throughout the day go on this side. And I switched from doing a check mark to kind of filling it in, because then I can fill it in halfway if I started it, or, you know, put an X through it if I deleted it. There's just a little bit more options there, so I've kind of liked that. This is the Franklin Covey pouch ruler, so I think this might be a Best Buy coupon. Yep. So I have a coupon that's about to expire. I usually go through the coupon file up here every couple weeks, and anything that's about to expire, I'll either put them in here or I'll clip them to the week that they're going to expire, just so that I can quickly see, you know, okay, I have these coupons, and then I'm not looking and seeing coupons that are 5 months old back here. And then, so on this side, office-friendly plants. How exciting. I am lucky that I'm not in my office all that often, but I want to have something green in there, so I was doing some research on plants that can grow under lovely fluorescent lighting, because unfortunately I do not have an outside window. So little things like that. Sometimes I'll throw it in the capture section. This should actually get filed back here, but we'll see. Here's all my sticky notes. Look at that. This is what I use these for. They're things that, for some reason, for my brain, I can ignore something written on the page a lot easier than I can ignore a flag that's in my face, because this is screaming at me, focus on this, do this. So I have them in here for all kinds of things. I have them in for my 2 student loans, that as soon as I track it, it'll get moved to the next month. I have them in here for my weekly review. Every Sunday evening, I try to kind of go through the previous week, go through my next actions, kind of just do a review of the week. So after this Sunday, that'll get moved to the next one. I review my birthdays once a month to see the birthdays that are coming up. Watering my plants is about to die, because I've been moving that so many times. We've had a very hot summer here, so I've been moving that quite a bit. But that's what I use sticky notes for. It's for things that I want kind of as triggers to be in my face, pay attention, do this, and then it's easy to just move it forward to the next month. So I'm not constantly going, well, am I going to remember this next month? I know it's just, I do it, I move it, and then next month, there it is again. So that's been really, really helpful. I think that's about it. I use these for forward planning for whatever's in here, and then whatever's not in here, I put on the monthly pages, you know, if it's something in December. I also use sticky notes for things like, you know, we're pretty sure we're going to the lake for Labor Day, not 100%, so I'm just going to stick it in there so that if somebody asks what we're doing, I kind of have that idea. Same thing with this. This is kind of a friend-raiser event that I'd like to go to. I don't want to write it in because I'm not 100% sure yet, so I'm just going to put it in there so that if somebody asks if we have plans, I say, well, we were thinking about going to this, but it's not, you know, not a sure thing. And then I also use the planner stamps for the little fork, knife, and spoon, because I still do just dinners, but I do write what dinners we're having, or have had, rather. It's more of, again, a record, not a forward planner. So that goes through November, I think, for now. And then I do have a blank page back here so that, you know, if there is something in December, I can jot it down and then transfer it over. But usually it'll go on the monthly page, and then I review the month. The etc. section has changed a little bit. This poor tab, I think this is one of the worst ones. It's really, I should probably replace it, but it's taped on the back and all kinds of messy. I did put this was on Filofax at some point. It is a getting things done quick reference card. And that has been a really nice little thing of, you know, stuff, inbox, what is it? Is it actionable? Processing, kind of getting you through that whole GTD process. So it doesn't take up much space, and I kind of like having it in there because this doesn't come terribly naturally to me. So it is nice to, you know, kind of go back to, okay, this is how the system works. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I do keep that in there. And then behind that, I am trying to implement kind of that next action system. So something comes in, it goes into my capture section. That's the first place that it goes. I try to review at the end of each day and move everything from that capture section to one of these pages. And I want to say that it might have been Anita that I stole this idea from. Again, it was a post on Filofax. Look at me using washi tape. Aren't you decorators all proud? I'm so bad with decorating, but I thought that since these were going to be in here a while, I'd try to make them at least somewhat presentable. So I just have ones for at home, at call, email, text, at work, at errands, at Mac, which is my computer, so things like anything I need to order online or whatnot, anything that relates to my computer. And then at waiting for, which I can check that off because that came yesterday. Oh, and then at someday maybe. So I have this kind of chunk of the most frequently referred to things. So I kind of just keep a running to-do list. Since I don't have the weekly pages anymore, I don't really have a space for a weekly to-do list. So anything that's not specific deadline based or specific day due date based goes kind of in this running list. And then as I have time, I come back here and pick things from it. So that makes it a little bit easier. And then of course I do still have my A to Z filing cabinet back here. It's gotten a little thicker since last time. Very similar stuff. Not much has changed in here. Things, just silly things. My hairstylist actually gave me a list of places to try out in Des Moines since we moved here not that long ago. I have my list of things I'd like to do in Des Moines. So it's just kind of that catch-all, be-all spot. I keep a bunch of stuff for work in here. Signal maps. Steve, the radio lover, may enjoy this type of thing. But I keep all of our signal maps in here because, oh my gosh, how did I do this? There we go. Because it is nice when people ask, okay, where are the signals crossing and everything. So I punched that kind of down to size and keep some stuff like that in there. The schedule of all of our shows and different lists like that. It's just nice. I try to keep my work as separate as possible. Everything scheduling wise goes in here, all of my meetings, because this is my one calendar. But most of my work notes are in a separate workbook. But these are things that I may need to reference. My job is the type of job where I could be out, having a drink for fun and meet a potential client. And I like just having some of the general information in here. And it goes on and on. I mean, just different things. Down to the back. And then I moved these to the back. So I just have some of the Filofax stickers and stars. I may pull these. I rarely use them. But it's one of those things that, again, just doesn't take up enough space to really justify pulling out. So I keep them just in case. And I do still have that Franklin Covey flyleaf in here, or page lifter rather, that kind of keeps everything easy to tuck away. And then this was just a piece of mail that I got from work. I just threw back here. I will pull this today because it needs to be processed and moved. But the back here section, if it's something that I don't clip up here, this back section has kind of become where I just kind of toss bigger pieces of paper. A lot of American letter size paper. I'll just trifold it and throw it back here until I have time to process it. So that's in there. I'll actually just pull that out because it needs to be handled anyway. I do keep a pen in the loop now, so that's another change. It is the Signo RT Gel 0.38 retractable. It is pretty much, well, it is not pretty much, it is the same ink that's in my black section of the Uniball, or the Uniball Style Fit, but I have been using so much of the black just for notes and tasks and things like that, that I keep the separate black in here so that I can just pull this out and do notes and not go through so many of the little refills. So that's been nice, and it still works with the system. Everything closes pretty nicely. I do sometimes have to, make sure I pull the pen out when I close it, but overall it hasn't been too bad. This packet used to be just kind of a hodgepodge of stamps and stickers and stuff. The stickers I wasn't using, so I just got rid of those, or moved them to another, to a little pen pouch. And the stamps I moved to the front. This has been perfect, and I can't show you because I'm filming on it right now. The iPhone 6 is the phone that I have, and it's in a slim enough case that it actually fits back here perfectly, and I can still close the binder. So that has been awesome for days that I'm just popping into a store, or especially days that Brian and I are out together, where he has the car keys and really my phone and my wallet are the only things I need to carry. I'll just throw the phone back here, shut it, and we go. So that's been really nice. So otherwise it just kind of stays empty. And then the only other thing I have back here is a secondary proxy card to get into my work office. We have ones on like a little tiny circle key fob one, and that's what I primarily use, but I have found myself walking on my lunch breaks, go get a cup of coffee, run to the bank, things like that. And I'm close enough to walk, so if I don't take my keys with me, this has been a lifesaver. And it's actually convenient because it's tucked back here. It's close enough to the outside of the binder that I just hold the Filofax up to the door and I can get in. So that is about it. A lot is the same, a lot is different. I have once again rambled far too long. I'm going on 26 minutes here. But that's the binder. Again, the binder's the same. The system's definitely been tweaked. Still following that mentality of if it doesn't work, fix it. Again, I'll probably still be making adjustments, but for the time being, this has really been a lifesaver for me. So as I mentioned, if you have anything specific you'd like to see, any other details, I would like to try to do videos more often. I think a lot of times I don't, A, because I get busy, and B, because I'm like, well, I don't know what people really want to see. So if there's something you want to see, let me know. Otherwise, I will try to be in touch soon. Bye, guys.